Ladakh, the forgotten world on the roof of the Himalayas. Between the colossal walls of the Himalayas and the Karakoram lies a land that defies almost every conventional image of India. There are no tropical forests, no crowded cities filled with endless traffic and noise, no monsoon rains sweeping across the landscape as they do throughout much of the Indian subcontinent. Instead, there is a world shaped by rock, ice, wind, and sky. A world perched above 3,500 meters, where the air is so thin that every breath reminds you how close you are to the heavens. This is Ladakh, often called India's cold desert. Yet even that name fails to capture what makes this place truly extraordinary. Because Ladakh is far more than a destination on a map. It feels like an island stranded in a sea of the highest mountains on Earth. For centuries, heavy snow isolated this region from the rest of the subcontinent. Mountain passes rising above 5,000 meters remained buried beneath ice for months at a time, turning Ladakh into one of the most remote inhabited regions in Asia. And it was this isolation that gave birth to a remarkable civilization. A place where ancient Buddhist monasteries cling to dramatic cliffs as if guarding the sky itself. Where small villages survive on precious meltwater flowing from distant glaciers. And where people have learned to thrive in conditions that many other regions would consider nearly uninhabitable. Yet the most remarkable thing about Ladakh is not its altitude, not its harsh climate, nor even the breathtaking mountain landscapes that stretch endlessly across the horizon. What makes Ladakh truly unforgettable is the feeling it leaves behind. A feeling of stepping out of the modern world and into a place where time moves more slowly, when nature still holds the final authority, and where people continue to live in harmony with rhythms that have endured for thousands of years. In this journey, we will cross mountain passes that touch the clouds, explore centuries-old monasteries, stand beside lakes hidden within vast high-altitude plateaus, and meet communities that have transformed isolation into an art of survival. Welcome to Ladakh, one of the most mysterious, resilient, and awe-inspiring places left on our planet. Leh, the heart of Ladakh, amid the sea of Himalayan mountains. Every road leading into Ladakh eventually arrives in Leh, a small town set within the vast Indus Valley, where barren mountains rise on every side like enormous natural fortress walls. At an elevation of more than 3,500 meters, Leh does not welcome visitors with towering landmarks or the bustling energy often associated with Indian cities. Instead, it offers something entirely different, a sense of near-total tranquility. A sky so intensely blue, it almost seems unreal, cold, dry air, and sunlight so powerful that every color appears sharper and more vivid. This is a place where people must learn to live with altitude. Every step feels slower. Every breath becomes deeper, and the human body needs time to adapt to an environment where nature still holds absolute authority. Yet what makes Leh remarkable extends far beyond its geography. For centuries, it served as one of the most important trading hubs in the entire Himalayan region. Caravans from Tibet, Kashmir, Central Asia, and even more distant lands once converged in this valley. Salt from the Tibetan plateau, wool from the northern mountains, tea, spices, and silk from the east, all passed through Leh along ancient trade routes that crossed some of the highest mountain passes on Earth. These encounters shaped the unique identity of Ladakh, a land influenced by many civilizations, yet one that has preserved a character entirely its own. And to truly understand that golden era, we must look toward the rocky hill rising above the town. There, an ancient structure has silently watched over the valley for more than 4 centuries. This is Leh Palace. From a distance, the palace appears to emerge directly from the mountainside itself. Its earthen brown walls blend seamlessly into the colors of the plateau, making the structure feel less like a man-made building and more like a natural extension of the landscape. Leh Palace was built in the early 17th century during the reign of King Sengye Namgyal, the ruler widely credited with leading Ladakh into one of the most prosperous periods of its history. At the time, Ladakh controlled key Himalayan trade routes and served as a vital link between some of Asia's greatest civilizations. Standing before the palace today, it is difficult to imagine that this quiet structure was once the political center of an entire mountain kingdom. 9 stories rise along the hillside. Narrow corridors weave through the interior. Small windows open toward the valley below. Every detail was designed to withstand brutal winters and the freezing winds that sweep across the high plateau. Within these walls once stood royal chambers, audience halls, storage rooms filled with valuable goods, and Buddhist shrines that reflected the spiritual foundations of the kingdom. From the upper levels, the view is extraordinary. Leh unfolds below like a small oasis surrounded by an endless sea of mountains. In the distance, the Indus River winds its way across the valley floor. Tiny villages appear beside streams fed by glacial meltwater. And beyond them, snow-capped peaks glow brightly beneath the Himalayan sun. The panorama helps explain why the kings of Ladakh chose this location as the center of their kingdom. Not merely to govern, but to observe, protect, and remain connected to a land they regarded as sacred. Yet history, as always, continued to move forward. Military conflicts during the 19th century eventually forced the royal family to relocate to Stock Palace, on the opposite side of the valley. Leh Palace gradually lost its political significance. But rather than fading into obscurity, it remained as a silent witness to the passage of time. A symbol of an era when Ladakh stood at the crossroads of Asia's great civilizations. And across the town, atop another hill, a brilliant white structure starts to shine beneath the fading sunlight. From a distance, it seems almost suspended between the earth and the sky. That is Shanti Stupa, a monument to peace, where Ladakh's ancient heritage meets the universal ideals of the modern world. Built as a symbol of peace and unity among Buddhist communities, the stupa has become one of Ladakh's most recognizable landmarks. Yet, Shanti Stupa is only a small part of Ladakh's vast spiritual landscape. Across this rugged region, perched on steep mountainsides and hidden within remote valleys, ancient monasteries have endured for centuries. Hemis, Thiksey, names that have become icons of the Himalayan world. From a distance, these monasteries resemble fortresses suspended between earth and sky. Whitewashed walls contrast sharply against brown mountain slopes. Prayer flags flutter endlessly in the high-altitude winds. And behind those ancient walls lies a world of history, faith, and knowledge preserved through generations. In Ladakh, monasteries are far more than places of worship. They once served as schools, centers of learning, guardians of culture, and repositories of sacred texts, history, and community identity. During the long winters, when snow blocked the mountain passes and isolated entire villages, monasteries became vital spiritual anchors that helped people endure life on the high plateau. To understand that role more deeply, our journey now moves toward one of the most isolated regions of Ladakh, Zanskar. Leaving the area around Leh, the road gradually narrows. The towns begin to disappear behind us. The cliffs grow steeper. The mountains seem to close in around the valley. We are entering Zanskar, one of the most remote corners of the entire Himalayan range. For centuries, Zanskar remained almost completely cut off from the outside world. Every winter, snow buried the mountain passes. The few routes connecting the valley to the rest of Ladakh vanished beneath ice and freezing temperatures. At times, entire villages spent months without any contact with the outside world. Yet, that isolation became an invisible shield, protecting the traditional culture of the region. Even today, arriving in Zanskar feels like stepping back in time. Small villages rest beneath towering mountains. Thick-walled earthen homes stand ready to withstand the harsh winter months. Tiny green fields survive thanks to precious streams fed by glacial meltwater. And above all, life moves at a pace so slow that time itself seems to follow a different rhythm. Zanskar is not a destination for those seeking comfort. It is a place to witness the power of human adaptation. A place where people have learned to live in harmony with one of the harshest environments on Earth. And a place that reveals why Ladakh remains one of the most extraordinary and isolated worlds left on our planet. After thousands of kilometers across cloud-touching mountain passes, isolated valleys, and some of the harshest high-altitude plateaus in the Himalayas, our journey through Ladakh is finally drawing to a close. Looking back on everything we have witnessed, it is hard to believe that all of these landscapes exist within a single region. Yet perhaps the most memorable thing about Ladakh is not its spectacular scenery. Not the mountain passes rising above 5,000 meters, nor the ancient monuments that have stood for centuries. What lingers the longest is the way this land encourages us to slow down and see the world differently. A place where winter can isolate an entire valley for months at a time, where people live beneath mountains that dwarf even the greatest human ambitions. Ladakh reminds us that progress does not always mean moving faster, and that sometimes the most meaningful things are found in places that are remote, quiet, and unforgiving. Today, new roads continue to open. Tourism is growing year by year, and the outside world is closer to Ladakh than ever before. Yet amid all these changes, This remarkable land still preserves the qualities that have made it unique for centuries. A delicate balance between people, nature, and faith. A slower rhythm of life in an age that never seems to stop moving. And a rare sense of peace that few places on earth have managed to retain. Perhaps that is why so many people come to Ladakh to see the mountains, yet leave carrying something far greater. A new perspective on life. A deeper appreciation for the natural world, and memories that remain long after the journey has ended. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Ladakh, the forgotten world on the roof of the Himalayas. If you enjoy exploring mysterious destinations, unique cultures, and adventures beyond the familiar paths, be sure to subscribe and join us as we continue discovering some of the most remote and extraordinary places on Earth. Until the next adventure, thank you for watching.